in life, you go down a certain road, and if you don't face the truths of that road, you just keep going further and further into that rabbit hole to the point where you're out of control. So many wars are like that. I mean, it's an amazing thing. If you McMaster, who was President Trump's previous national security advisor, General McMaster, wrote a very nice book. I don't know how many people have read it. It was his PhD thesis, so it's a very intellectual exercise talking about Vietnam, and the interaction of the politicians and the military and the various things that led us down that horrible path, right? And it is very clear. Now, people, if you talk about something like that, the natural thing is what? Pointing fingers. It was you. Get the beauty of America, and I think the theme is emerging that I'm so proud of this country, is that in America we can step back and evaluate even our most horrible mistakes. I don't know of any other culture where they can do that so readily. And I hope we do it even more. But you know, it's an amazing thing that we can sit back and say, wow, we lost this war like no other. This was a horrendous thing. 55,000 American soldiers died. Thousands and thousands of millions of Vietnamese died. We just set fire to the world. But at the end, we can sit and say, how do we see how we don't do this again?
Well, it's interesting. You talk about how we have this sort of self-reflectiveness and all that. Being an American born, I'm aware of like we have food that other countries don't have and opportunities and so forth. And I'm not haughty about it. I'm appreciative and all that. But and I do everything I can, but I cannot know how much I have here. That's why I guess I take it for granted, but it's not on purpose. I just don't know. It's just normal to me. This is life, man.
Well, one of the things, again, America is not all perfect, obviously, but you know, as a culture, one of our flaws is we are America-centric. So it would actually be a great thing for us as a culture, for our politicians, et cetera, whoever is going to run for office, to actually take a course in world history so we don't keep repeating these mistakes. But we don't look at that. But if we looked at the world, we would actually appreciate ourselves more and be more motivated to be better. But the reason I brought up McMaster's book is in that book, it is very clear that the sin of that whole experience was the inability for everyone to face the truth. Facing the truth. You know, again, people would say, gee, President Johnson didn't face the truth, and that's why he escalated the war. I would say that is only part of the story. Those people who were in the streets talking about being against the war and being baby killers and all of these, they also were not facing the truth. You see, as a culture, as a country, we were flawed at that point. And I think that for whatever reason, we were unable to pull ourselves out of it. And I hope those are the kinds of lessons, you know, that is, again, we all are capable of falling into those problems.